Blocks of ice are building up around the hull of the Academic Fedorov, a Russian supply vessel on an expedition to the high Arctic. White sheets of sea ice surround the ship on all sides. Even the wake of the vessel, and only an 80-foot wide trail of slush and broken ice, is closed up into a neat seam. The ship is caught in an area of ice compression, with sheets moving together like tectonic plates, creating pressure ridges like miniature mountain ranges being forced upwards. The ship is old, says Vladimir Sokolov, head of the High Latitude Arctic Expedition Department at Russia's Arctic and Antarctic Research Institute, and one of the scientific leaders on board the Fedorov. One of his roles in the expedition is liaising between the captain and other scientific leaders. The captain is concerned about whether they will or will not be able to get out of the ice. Ships come to this area of Arctic sea ice because the expedition participants on board have been setting up a network of autonomous instruments in a 25-mile radius around the German icebreaker Polarstern, which is freezing into the ice to carry out a year-long drift experiment. The aim is to find out how the Arctic environment has been affected by climate change and how the new Arctic will affect the rest of the global climate. While Polarstern is set to freeze in for the winter, the Fedorov needs to get out of the ice as soon as the setup of Polarstern's network is done. Part of the captain's concern is that the ship is sitting unusually high in the water. 10 days ago, the crew shifted a large amount of cargo onto Polarstern, including scientific instruments and piston bashers, to flatten a runway onto the sea ice. The Fedorov also transferred nearly 700 tons of diesel fuel to the German ship to see it through the next winter until its resupply. The loss of weight has left the Fedorov sitting so high up in the water that the hull reinforcement, 36 millimeters of solid metal at its thickest point, is now floating above the ice pack. Instead, a thinner layer of just 16 millimeters is exposed to the building pressure of the ice. To complicate things further, even when the Fedorov is heavy, in the water, it's not a true icebreaker. Ships with an icebreaker class have features such as a rounded and flattened hull that can rise up onto the ice and use the weight of the ship to crash down through it. The Fedorov's reinforced hull allows the ship to break through quite substantial ice floes, but is not designed to move through Arctic ice. If the Fedorov were to get stuck, they would have two options, Sokolov says. One would be for Polarstern to leave its position and come break us out, which would risk damage and delay the setup of the camp. The other option would be called a nuclear-powered icebreaker such as the Yamal. They are busy, and you never know when you will get one, says Sokolov. And of course, they are very, very expensive. The compression that happened here was triggered by a couple of days of negative 13 degrees Fahrenheit weather, says Hapla, which is enough to freeze over any remaining open water in the area and strengthen the older ice floes. Overall, if the Fedorov doesn't get out soon, it will definitely be in trouble. We wish them the best. If you want to see more news segments like this, comment down below. For MOTV, this is Connor Nelson. See you soon on Marauder Madness.